Now, with a speech entitled, Do You Speak Dog? Could you please welcome Moira O'Brien with a speech entitled, Do You Speak Dog? Moira O'Brien.
Oh, there you are. I thought I smelled something. What? Didn't you know that dogs have a highly developed sense of smell? Oh, Mr. Toastmaster and wonderful guest, let me introduce myself, because many of you won't have actually met me. My name is Pedro. I am what you humans call a crossbreed. I've no idea why they say that. After all, we don't refer to humans as coming from a breed. Well, maybe we do sometimes. She's from Canada. Well, doesn't sound the same though, does it? Well, Emma came from a place in Canada called Labrador, which is of Newfoundland. That's a funny name, isn't it? New found lost it or something. Anyway, that's where my mum came from, and she was a real softie. I mean, they invented the word softie especially to describe her. My dad, on the other hand, he was a hard one. He came from a place in England called Staffordshire. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but it's full of very hard dogs who love to fight. Anyway, somehow or another they met up in Cork, in a town called Youghal, where I was born. Now, I'm not too sure what happened as I was quite young at the time, but I ended up living on the street for an awful long time. My pack leader Moira tells me that it was 3 weeks, but for me it seemed like 3 years. I got very hungry and thirsty. So hungry, in fact, that I could have eaten the proverbial horse. A small horse, of course. After what seemed like years, I was kidnapped by a human who called herself a dog. She did explain that she was actually from Dog Animal Welfare Group. She took me to a home where there were a huge number of lost souls like me. But I was so hungry and thirsty that I paid them little attention. I was too busy eating everything in sight. Then Moira came along and said I could come to live with her. I had no idea what I was letting myself in for, but I didn't have a lot of choice. Well, you don't really when you have a piece of rope around your neck throttling you every time. Tell the human you want to run ahead or behind, or investigate that smell in the bush over there. You see, humans do not understand that we dogs don't communicate the way they do. We have our own language. You like to talk, but we like to hear and to smell. When I go roaming in the countryside, I'm not doing it for the good of my health. I'm doing it to keep up to date by reading the newspapers. I know exactly what's going on in my neighborhood, who is on heat, who was here last, who is new, etc., etc., just by reading the smells. I know that to you humans, when I sniffed the posterior of that rather dishy blonde down the road, you think that this is a revolting behaviour. And I need to imprint her on my brain so that when I read the newspaper, I know that it's her. You see, smell is all important. You call me a smelly dog, but you don't realise how much you stink to me. Humans have a very unpleasant odour, but at least it helps me distinguish one of you from another. My other great asset, of course, is my hearing. I can hear sounds that no human can ever hope to hear, and much quieter sounds as well. For example, I hear the postman coming from a long way away. And I let you know that he's coming so you can be ready to repel boarders if necessary. And I keep our property secure by telling every passerby that this is our house and our garden. There's no monkeying about here, I can tell you. I do all this hard work, and what do I get in return? The same food every day. Grudging walk. Most of it on the lead because she says that I don't have any road sense. Of course I have road sense. When I hear a car coming, I stand in the middle of the road and stop the car. In case it all you can do is to drag me to the side of the road as if I didn't know what I was doing. They say that it's a dog's life, but they don't really understand. They think that we have it easy. And yes, we don't need a lot in life. We like to run, we like to eat, and we like to sleep. But what they do not understand is that when we are asleep, we have one eye open and one ear open. And keeping you and your property safe is actually a full-time job. Well, at the end of the day, it is all worthwhile because I get prime position on the stove every night and I can sleep knowing that I've done a really good job keeping Moira and her property safe. And after 10 years, I think she has at last learned to speak dog. Well, my dialogue anyway. Do you speak dog?